Hey guys, it's me. I'm actually slightly sick right now, but I'm trying to ignore that fact because it's been really distracting right now. So I'm doing my usual Sunday thing today. I am multitasking, and that means that I have my homework up on one screen. Not many of you know this, but I actually have two screens. I've got one like 22 inch and one 21 inch, whatever it is, 21.5 I think, no, 22, 24 something inch, anyway. So on one screen I've got the conversation with Cassie, because that's what I always have. Let's face it, I spend way too much time talking to you, Cassie. You're a hopeless example of my social life. You are literally the only person I talk to with any frequency. And that's really sad, because we don't even talk about our lives. I mean, we do when something terrible happens, like what you went through, like, last week, I think. Yep, I know what I'm talking about. And then you get me, who's just like, so my mom said this funny thing, and I'm watching this new TV show. Instantly finished Supernatural. Okay, so that means this year I have watched all of Doctor Who since 2005, all of Supernatural since the beginning. I watched 8 seasons in 2 months. I've watched all of Sherlock, the movies and the TV show, the BBC show, and I have watched Torchwood Children of the Earth. I'm going to watch Miracle Day and such. Right now, actually, what I'm watching, it doesn't reflect, Daria. Because apparently, my mom keeps telling me that I have a sense of humor, and it's like, no, I don't, you're an idiot. Well, not an idiot per se, I just sort of went, I don't really have that exact sense of humor, and I don't tend to talk on a monotone, except sometimes I do when I'm in a bad mood. Anyway, I'm doing that on one screen. Not watching Daria, talking to Cassie. And on the other screen I've got my history homework, and what I have to do is I have to do a historical inquiry on Tsar Nicholas II, because we're doing Russian history at the moment, which is modern, so we're literally doing the fall of Russia. We're doing 1900 to 1944, I think. 1944. Yeah, I have to remember that. Anyway, so I have to do a historical inquiry on Tsar Nicholas II. And it can be anything from the Russian, the Tsarist regime was always going to collapse, it was unavoidable. It can be Nicholas the Tsar was a hopeless leader and it's his fault everything he lived for failed. Or it can be something else entirely, and I've gone with Tsar Nicholas II would have been capable of ruling the Russian Empire had it not been undergoing the turmoil of change. And I know I should reword that, but that's literally my prompt, my hypothesis. Apparently it's a hypothesis. So I'm doing that right now. And I've got my introduction and my topic paragraphs worked out. And I should probably work out a topic sentence. Topic paragraphs. Yeah, I know what I'm going to write paragraphs on. Yep. I'm literally doing... Okay, my introduction says, the Tsarist regime of pre-USSR Russia died with the last of the Tsars, Nicholas II. While the collapse of the regime was partially due to his own actions, circumstances tended to have greater effect on the scene that was set. During the modernization period of the late 1800s and early 1900s, and I think I mean industrialization there, I'll check, the Tsarist regime was prepared for collapse. The regime depended on autocratic principles that were difficult to sustain in the New World. In many cases, opposition to the regime was based on challenges to these principles, along with the reaction to the events which occurred prior to and during his reign. Many historians are in consensus as to why Tsarism collapsed. One of the widely accepted beliefs is that Nicholas was as capable as any other man of ruling the Russian Empire had it not been undergoing the change it was at the time. No Tsar had ever had to deal with opposition in such magnitude. Opposition in such magnitude, and as such there was no way for Tsar Nicholas II to prepare for and avoid this event. My topic sentences are about the precedent. Prior to the 1900s, no Tsar had ever been opposed as vocally as Nicholas was. The circumstances, the events before what happened. Before his rule, multiple leaders altered the system slightly. That includes the freedom of the serfs, the changes, and introducing slightly democratic systems, which weren't all that democratic, given it's the whole system still depended on the rule of an autocratic dictator, aka the Tsars and the Tsarina. This would do little to help him maintain his throne. Early opposition to the Tsars often included cultural and racial groups, and that paragraph will be about the opposition, such as the various wars. I mean, not so much the wars as the uprisings in, like, the Polish Russia and Croatian Russia. Well, there wasn't a Croatian Russia. That place, anyway. I know they had a whole lot of trouble with the Polish and the Serbs. And the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians really hated being owned. Anyway, during his reign, Nicholas II was no stranger to opposition, which that's about, obviously, Bloody Sunday, objection to the Russo-Japanese War, and, yeah, the challenges and uprisings faced throughout. The groups that opposed him often went to great lengths in an attempt to achieve their goals, so that's, like, assassination attempts, threats to society, interfering with war efforts. One of the main reasons that these groups caused so much trouble was that they disturbed the pillars of autocracy, the survival of which the Tsarist regime was dependent on. That paragraph is about the pillars of autocracy, just as it says, which are like, I don't know, militarism, autocratic ruler, lack of democracy, that sort of thing. Modernization poses its own threat to the regime. That's my own theory. I need to find someone else's research on it so I can quote or, actually write about it, because otherwise my history teacher's going to be like, "You're no historian, you have no right to that opinion," which is, I love my life. That paragraph is about how the growing global awareness and the introduction of democratic systems all across the world was starting to pose threats, influence the members of autocratic nations, of places still under autocratic rule, to believe that they should have rights, such as, which that would actually explain why the serfs were all, "We have rights, we should get to exercise our rights, you have no right to deny us our rights," which is like, thanks, peasants. And then Nicholas himself, however, did his part to encourage the opposition, as it were. That's about Alexander Nicholas's antisocial tendencies, his lack of interest in ruling the nation, and I can use quotes on that one because there's heaps of stuff about people at the time going, "He was an idiot, he didn't know what he was doing." Thanks, guys. And it's like, yep, you've given me lots of stuff to write about in one paragraph, but the rest of it I might just be a sort of like, yeah. So I'm going to end up with at least 8 body paragraphs, so that's at least a 10-paragraph essay, which means it's probably going to be at least 4 pages, and that's typed. I have no life. Wish me luck, guys. Bye.